Kyle Norcutt, currently have 7 franchises with 2 men in a truck. I'd say what makes me successful as a multi-unit franchise owner, there's kind of a few key things that I think I've learned over the years, is that I'm always investing back into the people who work with us, investing in the employee development. We have to always be data driven, and that's kind of taken some time to work through as well, but making sure that you're looking at the right data, but you have to be able to take the emotion out of a lot of those big decisions, because you can be 1,000 miles away from a location, and you just kind of have to look at the real facts that are going on at that location before you make the next big decision. We're always giving the location managers, the people that are running those locations, we're giving them plenty of room to make some decisions and learn from those decisions over time, because really, if you can't be there every day, they have to be making a lot of calls on their own. You don't want to have them calling you on a daily basis about some day-to-day stuff. And then one of the hardest parts for me is just trying not to get bogged down in the day-to-day details, and just trying to stay focused on the big picture. Since there's so many people involved, you kind of always have to be pushing forward for the long-term picture. Advice for franchisees that want to grow into a multi-unit portfolio, I'd say that there's a couple of big key points, and you really have to get your business running so smooth, your single location, that it's just so smooth that you're bored and losing interest, because once you go to multiple locations, it's a whole new way to operate your business, because you can't be there on a daily basis. So you have to make sure that everything is running smooth where you're currently at. Always have to have a backup plan for people and cash. If the location is far away and you lose somebody, a key person, you have to have a backup plan right away, or that's going to really bog you down the whole operation. And there's always a location that's always, not always, but you're always going to have a few locations that might be struggling. So you have to be able to focus a lot of time in there, and that could take a lot of cash as well. So you always have to have some backup plans. You have to be willing to give up a lot of the efficiencies that you had when you were a single operator, because now you're starting to build that infrastructure. I mean, the goal is to have some economies of scale, but I found that really it's hard to get them running as efficiently as when you were there on a day-to-day basis, running it as the local GM. And you really don't want to try to reinvent the wheel either. If it worked for you at the one location, try to stick to the basic principles that got you successful with one location, and find ways to scale that and keep as many consistencies as you can between all the locations. How I did my due diligence before I got into 2 men in a truck, it goes back about 23 years, and I've had 24 different franchises within the 2 men in a truck system. But that initial franchise that I bought back in '97 was with a friend that I had known since grade school. His brother had been in the business and was a franchisee, and I went to visit him. I saw that they were successful, and just really liked the business, and he seemed to be real happy with it. And that was the deciding factor. If he could do it, I could do it. And so I partnered with his brother, and we started the first franchise, and then grew from there. It was a local, 2 men in a truck was local to Michigan, where I grew up, and so one of their first franchises was in my hometown, and it already had a good name recognition and a good reputation in our area. So it was kind of fun taking that brand that was in Michigan, and I started a couple locations in North Carolina. Advice for a franchisor that's looking for someone like me. What opportunities would they have to excite me in their brand? I guess I would have to see that they had some good communication between their franchisee and the franchisor. As they grow their business, they're getting input from the franchisee as well. But they really need to have a good proven process and be committed to training the new franchisees. I definitely would want to see that they have some experience where some good franchisees that have had some success already, and that they really care about the brand and growing the brand, and that there's a good relationship with the other franchisees that are involved. And having a unique service or low competition always helps with growing the business and pricing. So I would look for that, and really just opportunities to grow. It'd be nice to get into a franchise that's new so that you can grow it. And if it's easy to scale, you can keep adding more pinpoints around the country. And I got into Two Men in a Truck when it was a relatively new franchise. So there were a lot of places for us to go, and we've been in several states and several pinpoints since then.